saw the Dave Chappelle Netflix special last night, Sticks and Stones, and best I can say is Dave must have sat down and said to himself, you know what, it, I've got all the money I can spend, because I just feel like if he hasn't ended his career after that special, I don't know what it's going to take. Ironically, what's so funny is that you got Monique, who turned down, $500,000 and has nothing to show for it. And you got Dave Chappelle, who did this stand-up. I'm sure he made millions. And I think that was his swan song. I say that only because, man, this is 2019. We've got a woke crowd out here. We got millennials. We got college students. We got the SJWs. We have a PC culture. We've got the hashtag #MeToo culture. I'm not judging any of those people. I'm just saying that it's crazy out here right now. You got people like Seinfeld, who does the cleanest jokes possible, saying that he won't do college crowds and how comedy is being ruined by political correctness. So given all that, it's amazing that this thing got on the air. It is the most crude, offensive, give no stand-up I've seen in I don't know how long, maybe since Louis C.K. We all know what happened to him, and he's mentioned in this special. It's the most offensive stand-up I've seen in quite some time, and that's, I gotta say, what made it so damn refreshing. I'm a holler out to my man Jason Swift, Doc Swift, holding it down back in Indianapolis, where I'm from, where he's from. We went to IU together. He's gonna clown me because back during the Chappelle Show days, I remember watching a couple episodes thinking, Dave, he's not that funny. He's not that funny. And then I think my man bought me the box set of season 1, and much like my reaction when I thought True Blood wasn't that good, and I sat down and watched it, much like a couple other episodes of a series that I thought weren't that great initially, and then I sat down and watched it. I watched Chappelle's show all the way through, and I said to myself, what the crack was I smoking? This shit is hilarious. But he is back full force. This thing is funny as hell. Just Dave's delivery, the way he kind of moves his head and moves his eyebrows and moves his eyes, it's hilarious. No, I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm watching the road. Don't worry about me. He could read the phone book and be funny. And he recently did the Seinfeld streaming series, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. And I knew from that he hasn't lost a stitch. He hasn't lost any of his timing. As a matter of fact, on that show, if you check that show out, Jerry Seinfeld is kind of like he's like more philosopher than comedian, where he dissects how comedy works and how life lessons learned through stand-up and comedy. And Chappelle went toe-to-toe with him. Eddie Murphy gave him a run for his money too on the show, but Chappelle went toe-to-toe with him. Nothing is off limits in this series, and if you're easily offended, you do not want to watch this. He talks about Michael Jackson and his predilections, let's just say, whether true or false. He casts shade on the two accusers in that HBO documentary. He kind of touches on an old controversial Eddie Murphy bit that is probably, for me, outside of his use of the N-word, which he's known for, so I got to let that go. I can't have that fight. But the most controversial part that made me cringe the most was when he imitates an Asian person. And I thought, wow, okay, he's done. That was a little bit, that went a little far. But then he was quick to point out that his wife is Asian, so I guess he feels like he can make that joke, kind of like he can say the N-word repeatedly. Although he does have another joke where he turns the use of the N-word on its ear very cleverly. Like I said, he also does jokes about Louis C.K. Another bit that he does is and I think this is what he's catching a little bit of hell over, He does an extended bit about the LGBTQ community and transgender people. And I mean, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry. It's just funny. And what's funny is my man Jason that I mentioned prior. He texted me and he said, he kind of put it out there. He said, you got to be able to make fun of everybody. And that speaks to what I just spoke about. Dave Chappelle has an encounter. He tells a joke about an encounter he had with a woman from Standards and Practices who said that he should not use the F word talking about people in the LGBTQ community. And he turns that on its head by referencing the N word. I don't want to spoil the joke, so I'll let you check it out. But it spoke to what my man Jason said. You got to be able to make fun of everybody. He even manages to incorporate LGBTQ into heckling a guy whose cell phone rings during the performance. Like I said, this thing is hilarious. I haven't laughed so hard in quite some time. It's worth checking out. And like I say, you got to put your sensibilities, your delicate sensibilities aside and go with it. If you can get past the Asian thing, which I did find offensive, and it wasn't that funny. That's the thing. A lot of comedians will say, if it makes you laugh, it should not be deemed offensive. It should be deemed funny. This wasn't all that funny. So that was a low point for me. But other than that, this thing was hilarious. I highly recommend it. Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones. It makes me want to see more of his stand-up. I hope he's back into the game full swing. He's still got it, man. He's a lot bulkier, not fat, but bulkier. He's a little bit more bloated in the face. He's aged a little bit, not much. Black don't crack, but he's still got the chops. It's funny. I will say one thing before I go. His wardrobe, it looked like he was wearing a prison jumpsuit in olive green. I'm not sure what that choice was, but it just added to the humor. So there you have it. I highly recommend. Go check out Sticks and Stones. Just check your sensibilities at the door and have a good time. And with that, that's the martini.